Hi, welcome to Ask the Lawyer. I'm your host, Patty Grabeau. Americans are living longer than ever before, and many elderly people may eventually require long-term or nursing home care. Do you know your options? Joining us today is Sullivan when we come back on Ask the Lawyer.
Welcome to this edition of Ask the Lawyer. Ask the Lawyer is informative and exciting. Ask the Lawyer interviews authors, speakers, and entrepreneurs in all areas of business, so you become a much more informed consumer.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Patty Grabeau. Today, as our aging population is growing, we face new challenges in how to provide, plan, and take care of ourselves and our loved ones. Joining us today is attorney Dennis B. Sullivan. Attorney Sullivan founded the Estate Planning and Asset Protection Law Center, which helps people and families concerned with losing their homes and other investments to increased medical and nursing home costs, taxes, and time delays and costs of probate. They've helped families with millions of dollars in life savings preserved, protected, defended from probate, excess taxes, and nursing home poverty. Attorney Sullivan is a member of the AARP Legal Services Network, Wealth Council, and MPS, a national organization of elder law attorneys with the highest integrity. He graduated from MIT's Sloan School of Management, earned a Master of Tax Law at Boston University School of Law, and a law degree and bachelor's degree from Suffolk University in Boston. The Estate Planning and Asset Protection Law Center is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Mr. Sullivan is a contributing author to 4 books on estate elder law, asset protection planning, and he has also developed a trustee manual for family trustees, which provides instructions on the responsibilities of being a trustee. Most impressive. Attorney Sullivan, welcome to our show. What you give to your clients is amazing with tax, law, and accounting.
Well, thank you, Patty. We're committed to helping clients for the long term, and all the different areas. It's important so the clients are aware of different opportunities to prevent problems from happening in their planning.
It's wonderful. You give them the whole spectrum, which is terrific.
Great.
Just terrific. Now, for boomers, it's crazy, isn't it? BMWs were always the topic of conversation, but now it's often long-term care. Right. What is long-term care planning, and why is it such an issue right now?
Well, for many people, they'd much rather stay at home. As the population ages, accidents or illness can happen to anybody. But the concern is people would much rather prefer to stay at home, but sometimes they need help with incidents of daily living, be it dressing or bathing. So they could get help either with in-home care or in a nursing home. So with dementia and Alzheimer's in particular, people need a lot of help. We've got some clients that spouses or family members will take care of them, but oftentimes at some point they need to go to a nursing home and the costs are rising at the nursing home.
Yeah, now why are more and more Americans and their families concerned about these nursing home costs?
Well, more and more people are concerned because people are living longer these days. Right. You know, the average life expectancy has doubled during the last century. It's about 85 now, but we've got many clients in their 90s and a couple of clients over 100. So people are living longer, and at some point they may end up that a family member or spouse is not there to care for them, so they may have a concern of spending some time in a nursing home. So that's why we see it amongst a number of the people that we work with initially, as well as clients that we've been working with for a number of years.
So you create a plan so when they go to the nursing home, they can be comfortable and have a complete plan in place.
Yeah, exactly. So that's part of the service, that nobody wants to go to nursing home, but if ever things did, we need to cover that risk, and that's one of the things that we help people with.
That's great. That's great. It sounds like nursing homes do affect a lot of people from what you're saying now. What are the current costs?
Well, the current costs in Massachusetts range from $10,000 to $12,000 a month and rising.
Oh, wow.
Really depends on the location and where they would end up going to a nursing home. That's $144,000 for a 1-year stay, or $720,000 for a 5-year stay. So you can see with that level of cost, it affects a number of people, and people are concerned about it.
Absolutely, $144,000. Right. I mean, how do people pay for that? Well,
that's a lot of money. We used to tell people that there was 3 different ways to pay. I used to tell them that, well, you could either pay with your own money, long-term care insurance, or qualify for a state and federal government program. As you can see from the statistics, the federal and state programs pay for about 67% of all nursing home costs. One of the ways to pay is with long-term care insurance. But it's very expensive. I've had some clients in the 80s that were quoted rates of $15,000 to $18,000 a year. It just doesn't fit in their budget.
Right.
Of course, long-term care insurance will depend on age, health, and options that are chosen. The other way to pay is your own money, but people just don't want to lose the life savings at $144,000 a year, or $720,000 for a 5-year stay. So people have an option to take action, so they'll qualify for the payment program with the nursing home by the state and federal program sooner rather than later. And that's one of the things we help a lot of people with, is understanding their various options. People need to understand more.
Sure they do.
Because they're living longer and it's affecting more and more people. So this is an area that we work with a lot of clients to understand planning options, so that depending on what fits their budget and their lifestyle and what they want to accomplish, they're able to pick and choose, so that if something happens down the road, they're going to be protected.
And everyone's individual, aren't they?
Yep, everybody's different, and that's exactly right. So they've got to be in a position to understand the options, and then they can pick their plan to protect themselves, their spouse at home, protect their home, their life savings, and a legacy for the family. And you're right, everyone's different, so we try to give them information so they can make an informed choice.
And so you really have to sit down and get to know the people.
Yep, exactly. It's all about getting to know the people.
Relationship building.
Right, and they get to know us through different workshops or information, and that's key. You need to know the people so you understand what they want to accomplish. There's no one-size-fits-all. It's a plan that's individualized and personalized. That's what we help people with.
Individuals and personalized, I like that. Now, is it true that you must spend everything you have above $2,000 before you can be eligible for Medicaid?
Well, that's not quite true. That's a common misconception. Either $2,000 for a single person, or about, well, $110,000 now in Massachusetts, plus certain exempt assets. And I think we'll get into that a little bit more in detail. But you don't absolutely need to spend everything down. If you do, there's nothing left. So people, if they're concerned about spending a life savings on a nursing home, if either one or two get sick, it's a lot of money. If two people are in a nursing home, that's $24,000 a month. Reminds me of a client helped a number of years ago that he'd been a long-term client, he and his wife, and we helped them with avoiding probate and different type of trust planning. And I can remember he came in one day and said that getting any younger, he's got certain aches and pains. He was very concerned if he had to go to a nursing home, didn't want his wife to be out in the street, and wanted her to be able to sell the home, get a reverse mortgage or a home equity loan. So by that time, we learned how to really help people in this area that more and more people are concerned about. We said, sure, we've got some different planning options, and one of which is what we call a protective trust. And back then, you could transfer your home to it in investments, which they did. This was before the law had changed. So at that point, you could protect things right away. The penalty period would start right away. No longer, since the new law in 2006, the penalty period only starts when you're in a nursing home and out of money. So because they changed the law back then, it was designed to save $30 billion a year from the federal budget, and it did, but their planning was very effective then. It still works now, but it's more and more important to accomplish that planning sooner rather than later, so you can meet the long-term plan. And it's a unique opportunity for clients and people we work with, because chances are, given the current federal and state budget, they're going to change the law in the future. So if people think this type of planning is important, even though it might not be now, but perhaps down the road, ought to take steps sooner rather than later, because at some point when the law changes, it may no longer be available.
Wow, wow. Very, very interesting. It's a very complicated process. If someone has questions, how can they contact you?
Well, there's a couple of different ways, but certainly they can visit us on the website. We've got some free consumer guides. You can see it at stateplanandassetprotection.com. If people wanted a guide to nursing homes and Medicaid and asset protection planning, all they need to do is pick one of the free elder guides that we have. So there's plenty of information there on how to protect themselves and their family. They can also come to a workshop, registering on the website, or call the 800 number, 800-964-4295. And it's a great way for people to see us, meet us, learning about these planning options, help figure out what's important to them, and then can take the right steps to protect themselves, spouse, home, and life savings for their family.
Fantastic. Hold your thoughts. Okay?
Will do. Thank you.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with attorney and CPA Dennis Sullivan.
But the problem is, if someone gets too sick to go home, or there's a spouse no longer living at home, the home will have to be sold out from under the person. There'll be a lien placed on the home, and the home would be sold when they get too sick to go home, or if at the time they pass away.